Hey everybody, we're going to start a video today on circles. We've not done anything with circles, but we're going to start it today just on equations of a circle. So we're going to start off with the basic equation of a circle, and it looks like this. It has x squared, and then we add in a y squared. So that's probably something you've never seen before. And then you always have to set it equal to something. And we'll talk about what all this means here in just a second. Now, if you can look at this circle right now, the center is at the origin. So I'm just going to put that in there so you can see that. I'm going to put that ordered pair in there. Whoops. And you can see that. But the question is, what's the radius of that circle? So we've talked about this maybe a little bit, but if you don't know, the radius is from the center to the outside. So if you look, it is exactly, and it's nice, they'll give you this, the radius is 1 because from here to here is 1 step. So the question is, when I change this number, the 1, it changes my radius. So you would think that if that's a 1 and I change it to a 2, the radius would be 2. So let's check it out. Let's see what happens. And when I do that, nope, the radius is not 2. It's something different. So let's just keep going. Let's put in 3 and see what happens. When I put in 3, the radius is 1.732. Still not a correlation we can figure out yet, but if we keep going. If I put in 4, it's 2. So 1 works and 4 works. And when I mean works, it just gives us a nice whole number. So let's try 5. 5's no good. Let's try 6. No, the radius would be 2.449 roundabout. 7, wah, not good. Try 8. Oh, 8, not looking good. But guess what? 9's going to work. 9 works. 9 gives me a nice whole number. So 1 works, 4 works, 9 works. I'm not going to keep going through random numbers, but what you should figure out is that this number right here is if I square root it, if I square root the equals number, it gives me my radius. So for example, if I do 25, if I type in 25, guess what that radius is going to be? It should be the square root of 25, which is 5. And when I type in 25, right there it is. So the equal number tells me what the radius is going to be if I square root it. So I'll zoom out a little bit. Let's just do another random number that's a perfect square, like 64. If I look at 64, the radius is 8. From here to here is 8 spaces. So that's the first thing we got to talk about, the radius. Now we got to talk about, I'm going to take this circle. Let's go back to like a normal one. Let's go to 25. Let's go to 16. So my center's here, but in some of the problems, they're going to move the center around. So let's say I don't want the center to be at 0, 0. I want the center to be at 2, 5. So I want the center of that same exact circle to move up here. So here's how you do it. In class, we would take some time to kind of guess, but I'll just tell you, you're going to do the opposite of what you would think. So I want it to be at positive 2. But I'm actually, when I type in this equation, I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to go minus 2. Because the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. I'm going to square that right now. That's a parabola. That's why you got to have an x and a y. So check this out. What's the opposite of positive 5? Well, the opposite of positive 5 is negative 5. And I'm going to square that. Whoops. I'm going to square it. And then I'm going to do equals 16 because I still want that radius of 4. So if I equal 16, right there it is. So you can kind of see there, that is exactly the center of that circle. And then when I change it to 16, you can kind of look, if I were to zoom in super close, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, and that's my center. So when you put it into the formula, you have to move it the opposite of what the ordered pair is. So I'm going to take the 0, 0 out. I'm I'm going to take this out. So let's do a new problem. Let's say I've got this ordered pair of -3, comma, -5. So there's my point down there. I want a circle that has a center of that point and has a radius of, let's say, 3. So my equation should be, you should be saying this to yourself, the opposite of -3 is +3. So I'm going to say x plus 3. I'm going to, whoops, I don't know why I did that. I'm going to square it. We always add, and we're going to put our y in. So the opposite of -5 is +5. And then we're going to square it. There we go. And then I said I wanted a radius of 9. Or 3. That gave away the answer. So if I want a radius of 3, then I got to put in a 9. And if you check that out, that is at the center of my ordered pair that I wanted. If I zoom in a little bit, they're 1, 2, 3 apart. And that gives me a perfect circle with a center at -3, -5, and a radius of 3. So let's just try like a kind of a special circumstance. So like let's say I have an ordered pair at -5, comma 0, and I want a radius of 2. So my x, our formula is always x, and then you do the opposite. The opposite of -5 would be +5. And then I'm going to square it. And we talked about it this morning when I was at school. The student said, well, that 0's in there. Does that just mean I don't put anything for my y? No, that's not what that means. What that means is I still have to have a y and I still have to square it, but I just don't put left or right because it's 0. And then we're going to equal that to 4 because I want a radius of 2. And if you look, it's right there around that. Now, if I put in +0, it should not change it. No difference. I wouldn't put in +0. It's just wasted time of writing. So there you go. There's my center. My radius is clearly 2 spaces apart on both sides. Or if you go up and down, it doesn't matter. I can go up and down or left and right. It's still 2 spaces from the center. So that's what we're going to be working on today. They might give you an equation. So you're either going to have an ordered pair and a radius like this, and you're going to have to write it into the equation, or they'll give you an equation. So let's just do this. Let's see if you can tell me what the radius and the ordered pair would be. So if I do x plus 3 squared plus y minus, no, keep it on the screen, 5, 4 squared equals let's say 16. Whoops, 16. So they might give you that, and then you got to give me the ordered pair and the radius. So when you look at this, you say, okay, well, that's +3. So we do the opposite. So that would be -3. And then this is -4. So I'd say that my y is +4. Oh, yep, that is the center of that circle. And then you say the square root of 16 is 4. So the radius of this circle must be a 4. And if I look at that, if I zoom in, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Okay, so that's basically it for today. If you need to watch that again, I also have another video, but you can check those out however you want. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.